Aha! Showtime!
I froze up for a second, folks. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, degenerates of all ages, welcome to a special show tonight. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to handle this tonight, but I haven't missed a show since I started doing this, and I'm not about to start now. I know I should. I really probably shouldn't be on, and I'm probably not going to be able to know what to say every once in a while, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. Let's get the camera started so you can see the shit show going on over here. The green screen's still out from the other day. The chair's in the wrong spot. Everything's all bucked up, and you guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys can understand that. So Tuesday morning, I lost my father. And it was probably the hardest thing yet that I've had to go through. I lost my mom 10 years ago, and that was rough. But this one really hit hard. Many of you may know, many of you may not. I moved back in with my father about 2 years ago to help him out. And help me out too, save money, whatever. But for the most part, help him do stuff around the house. He was not in great health. Thank you, Sandy. Damn it, don't do that. He wasn't in the best of health. He did suffer from COPD, which he was on oxygen 24/7. He had a bad back. He had stuff going on with him. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he fell the other day. And I love you too, Myron. Thank you, bud. The Vark Bully Nation is pulling for me too. Thank you, Jen. Unfortunately, he fell on Sunday morning. Love you too, Jen. Thank you. And had to go to the hospital. So Sunday, Monday, they were doing some tests on him, running, blood tests, CAT scans, stuff like that. And if this is too personal for you guys, I'm sorry, but again, I'm just going to kind of ramble. And you know what? I'm going to bring my spirit animal, my support animal in with me. Mayor of Nippertown. I appreciate the hell out of you because I know I'm not going to be able to do this.
You're doing great, Brett, my brother. You are doing great.
And I listen. I didn't want to miss a show, so I probably shouldn't be doing this because I'm probably going to either babble or just break down. I have not had that moment where I completely lost it yet. I've been way too busy doing legal stuff, closing this out, and it's amazing how hard it is to close out somebody's life, to put the box lids on and put the tape on it. It's like incredibly hard. People, I've heard stories about it, but I never really, I was like, that's whatever. They're not exaggerating, man. It's pretty rough. Especially when they're running into speed bumps like that. But you know what? One thing at a time. This my son's mother told me, just one thing at a time. You do what you can do, and that's it. So back to the story. He needed a BiPAP machine and was adamant about not using it. He hated it, but he desperately needed it. And those of you who know anything about the BiPAP and CPAP machines, when you're on oxygen, it runs into the mask. So when you put the mask on, you still have the oxygen flowing through, which he needed. At some point from 5:30 to 7:30 in the morning, he removed the mask. I don't know if he did it on purpose because it was uncomfortable. I don't know if he was having an episode with his heart and ripped it off to say help. I don't. Nobody will ever know, and that sucks. But it is what it is, But unfortunately, he had a massive heart attack, and they worked on him for 21 minutes and was able to bring him back. Any of you that know any medical stuff, 21 minutes is bad. So essentially, he was kind of like being sustained by medication and stuff like that. So ultimately, we had to make the decision to stop the medication and to just kind of let him go the way he wanted to go, the natural way, I should say. And he did, and it's horrible, and it's devastating, and it sucks, but it's a fact of life. And now that story and shit part of it is out of the way, my father was a local musician. I don't know how many of you knew that or not, because it's not really the music that is on this show. It's not metal. It's not even close. It's like 20s, 30s, 40s music. He played in a Dixieland jazz band, Skip Parsons, Riverboat Dixieland Jazz Band. It's a long title. For years, they played at the Fountain like every other weekend. Knocked them dead all the time. I went a couple times. It was fun. He also did work with Doc Spring, a bunch of the older style music. He's played at Saratoga for opening day and all that. I mean, he's done a lot. He also had 2 recordings out with his best friend and musical partner, Stephen Caddick, who is out of Massachusetts. Steve is in the Banjo Hall of Fame and is one absolutely amazing banjo player. I know, again, banjo is not the thing for this show, but you know what? Tonight it is, because I'm going to play some music that my father and Steve done together, and so it's going to be a little different. So if you're not into that stuff, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we do got pretty big numbers tonight. I kind of figured it was going to jump up, but those of you who are not into that music, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support, and I do invite you to stay and listen, because some of the stuff they do is cool. It may not be for everybody. A, it's my dad, so it's awesome. B, it's great music to listen to. Like I said, I'll play. I got 4 selections that I'd like to play for you guys tonight, and talk a little bit about my old man. I mean, he was born in New York City, Queens, Jackson Heights. They wound up moving to Tannersville, New York, which is between the bottom of the mountain and Hunter, the top of the mountain. It's a little tiny little podunk town up on the mountain. But it's a cool place. I used to hang up there in the summers with my aunt and stuff. But so they moved there when they were 8. His father opened a grocery store, a small grocery store on Main Street, and was fairly successful with that. My father met my mother there. My father graduated from Hunter Tannersville Central School, went to Hartwick College, where he had a bachelor's degree in chemistry, joined the Army for 2 years. He and my mother moved to Albany, where he took a job with the health department. Then went from the health department to the New York State Police as a forensic chemist. He was a civilian employee, wasn't a trooper, but he was a chemist for the New York State Police. Interesting side note to that, he was one of the main guys that opened their drug lab when they started doing their drug lab. Great for the community, horrible for me. Could not get away with a lot when I was younger. So we would go, and my sister and I would go hang out with the crew and come back in, and my mom would be like, "What's that smell?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, we had a bonfire down there." She's like, "Oh, that's cool." My father's like, "Yeah, bonfire, huh? Go to bed." But it is what it is. So he wound up retiring He wound up retiring in the 90s and took on an even harder job, which was being a full-time grandfather. He was doing a lot of babysitting and stuff. That was his favorite, though. He loved his grandkids and loved his family. He was a family man. Sorry, guys. He was a firm father, but he was fair. You know what I mean? That's all I can say about him. He was a great man, a great musician. I'm getting a little choked up, Jim, so I'm gonna play a song from them.
So what is the name of the song?
This song is called La Belle Senorita.
The Belle Senorita.
My father is on the tenor guitar, I believe it's called.
All right.
And I'm not sure what that instrument is that Steve has. He'll tell you, though. And I can't remember what his name is. There's a guy in the banjo who's a really, really talented guy, too. So I'm going to play you a song from my
When
father.
did they record this one?
I don't remember the year, 90-something. I'm way off on the dates, man. I should have wrote it down.
All right.
But
No, that's all good. I'm
way off on it. So I'll give you a little taste of this stuff. We'll be back in probably 3 minutes or so. Check this out, guys.
La Bella Senorita, Danza Mexicana, written in 1943 by Stephen St. John. This arrangement and the harmony line are written by Eddie Kababjian. We have Paul Poria on tenor banjo, Eddie Kababjian on tenor guitar, and on mandola, I am Steve Caddick. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mandola. So yeah, that's it's the '40s music, but it's nice. I grew up around this. You know what I mean? I had a lifetime of seeing my father play everything from piano to bass to what's an instrument called an oud, which is like a Middle Eastern instrument. Obviously guitars, banjos. I mean, it was pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool to be around this your whole life.
That was a little like mariachi. Like
a little bit, yeah, similar. Yep.
Yeah, that flow, right? So
yeah. So usually you guys tune in and you're sometimes I'm interviewing a band, sometimes I'm spewing some nonsense or making a little off-color remark, and some people say I'm a little off. They're like, "Oh, you're you're this, you're that. I have one that's worse, and it's my sister. So it runs in our family, and she's worse than I am because funny story. Well, kind of funny story, anyways. She was over here yesterday. We were talking about what, plans and stuff like that we're going to do. And she was getting ready to leave, and she started crying. So I hugged her. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's all right, She goes, but Mikey, and I'm like, what? She goes, we're orphans now. Too soon, right? Nope, not for me. I was laughing. I thought it was funny. She got me good on that one. But you guys say I'm sick. Should have my sister on one time. She'll definitely outdo me, that's for sure. So the outpouring of support that I've seen from friends, family, some people I don't really know, fans of this show, my degenerates are the freaking best, man. I mean, I haven't been able to respond to anybody or click like on stuff or heart anything. Shit's been crazy over here, but I did put a post up thanking everybody, and I want to do it again in person. Well, kind of in person right here, but live on here. Tell you guys, you have no idea how much that has meant to me and has been kind of carrying me through because, like I said, man, I haven't hit that wall yet where it's that big breakdown, but I mean, it's coming soon. It's either going to be after the services, which I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's either going to be right after that or probably right before it, and that's going to be even worse. I was hoping it's not tonight on here, but that's possible too. I mean, if we get like 40 people in here, I'll just break down just for the viewers. You know what I mean? Hey,
you have so much going on right now. Your body is kind of like very focused on funeral arrangements and the estate and everything. So you're in like go mode right now. And I think from my experience, once the funeral's done and you get a chance to breathe for a second, then it's all going to rush in.
Yeah, I think once I hit that brick wall, it's gonna explode. But I mean, while we got so many people in here, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/thatfuzzing518, so it doesn't cost you nothing. Click on the sub, click on the little bell, lets you know when we go live all the time.
You still have it, man. You still have it.
Can't stop, man. Don't forget also Insta and TikTok at that Fuzzing518 show.
So I have some questions for you, Fuzz.
Wow. Am I going to actually get like a little interview? This is cool.
You're going to get a little interview.
This is weird. I've never had this.
So growing up, tell me growing up, what was some sort of food you and your father bonded over? Like what kind of food did you both like? Like, did you take after him?
Probably steak. I remember we went to a place called Beefsteak Charlie's when I was like 7. And it's no longer there. It's where the macaroni grill is on Wolf Road, I think. But it was called Beefsteak Charlie's. And that was the first time I had steak was there. And I ate like half of his. He was kind of pissed. But that was my love of red meat came from there. An interesting story to this, I can tell you the food that I hate because of him also. I think I was 11, maybe. And we had like one of those pull-out sofas. And we all nobody likes to pull out, but we had the pull-out sofa. So it was like me and my sister were kind of hanging out in there watching TV. My father was in his recliner, my mother was in her chair, and just sitting there hanging out watching TV. My father was eating a bagel. And he stood up, walked out of the room, kind of stormed back in the room, stormed back out of the room, back in the living room in front of the TV. We're like, Dad, move. We can't see. Into the bathroom. We hear this on the countertop in the bathroom. Like, it's kind of like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? He came out of the bathroom and ran over to me holding his throat.
Yeah, he was choking on it.
He was choking on a piece of bagel. So I knew what the Heimlich maneuver was, but I didn't know how to do it. So I think I was 12. I think it was maybe 12. So I got my arms as much as I could around him, and I'm pulling as hard as I can on his sternum. because I was too high. He pushes my hands down like this, and I'm pulling for all I'm worth. He spits it out. So I'm crying like hysterically, like what is going on? I just like my dad's choking. I'm crying hysterically. He catches his breath and recovers and comes over and gives me one of those on the top of the head. Goes down and sits back down in his recliner and finishes the fucking bagel.
Well, of course he finished it. I had no doubt that he finished it. But did he eat the bite that he spit out?
I don't think so. I think that hit the floor. He threw it away.
Okay, so so there was a line at least that he drew.
I was so mad for
The piece
years
that
after that.
I think my dad might have even eaten the piece that he spit out just so he didn't waste it. But I get it.
I think
They were different, man. You like, how old was your dad when he passed?
84.
84. It's just a whole different mentality in these guys.
Back in that day, every bite counted.
Everything counted. So did your dad have any tattoos or anything?
No
tattoos.
No ink whatsoever.
Did you ever see pictures of him? Let's see, in the 50s.
I saw pictures of him when he was in the Army, and when he was in the Army, he was stationed in Virginia, and there was pictures of him on the beach in swim trunks, playing a guitar. There was pictures of him checking out all the monuments in Washington, and so he had a pretty easy time in the Army, but he was a pretty good looking fella.
I love catching photos of like our dads or grandfathers or whatever from that time period where they had the cigarettes rolled up in their sleeves. My father, he had a DA, right?
Oh yeah.
So he had a flat top and a DA back in the day, or whatever. And they just looked cool, man. Like, they blue jeans, white t-shirts, people dressed up like that in Greece, but that's kind of the photos you see back then, that they were just, emulating James Dean or whatever, they were just cool.
Yeah, I downloaded a bunch of these pictures for the funeral home because they're going to put them on like a loop in there and stuff like that. So here's my father in the Army.
Yeah, see, the girls today would go crazy over that.
Go nuts over it, right? Go absolutely.
The girls today would go nuts over that.
I'm telling you, man. Pops was a stud.
I saw a picture of you and your dad, and was it you, your dad, your sister, or you, your dad? Something.
And my kid, right? my son.
Oh,
first day of kindergarten.
Yeah, man, that was a great photo. You look sharp.
Yeah, I was thin then. I was skinny then. Holy shit, that's like 100 pounds ago.
Isn't that crazy? All right, so your dad obviously loved music.
Loved music, loved his family more, but loved music. Music was a close second. Let's put it that way.
What was the first instrument he tried to get you to play?
He started giving me guitar lessons and essentially told me that I was a piece of shit. You'll never get this. God damn it. Will you pay attention? Jesus Christ. I said, play a G. I'm like, what the fuck's a G? I didn't know what a G was. I had no idea. So that didn't go out.
You took that way too literally. When he said play the G string, you took it way literally. You're like, I still play the G string. Yeah, I know. You took it really literally.
I'm telling you, man.
But so for your sister's Denise, right?
Yes, correct. Yep.
So she learned piano first, it sounds like, in the
started
chat.
Teaching her piano, I believe. Yeah, I had no interest in piano. I did, however, take up drums, which he hated, because literally, like where I am right now, where that acoustic guitar is right there, was where my drum set was set up, right over there. So his chair was right above my head. So he was really close in proximity. So when the band was playing in here, he was trying to watch TV right there. And he hated it. And we practiced for hours.
You know what show he was watching. What show was he watching when he did band practice? Like that he'd get the most upset about?
Probably maybe the news. Like maybe it was like the news into like
6 o'clock news, 6:30 news,
6 o'clock news, and then into like maybe like maybe a Jeopardy or a Wheel of Fortune or something. Who the hell?
Yeah, that every night at my house. 6 o'clock local news, 6:30 national news, 7 o'clock Wheel of Fortune, and 7:30 Jeopardy.
Oh.
5 nights a week.
So yeah, I used to bug him, but in the later years, he told me that he used to love. We did blow the breaker quite a few times. Yes, we did. There was quite a few times when he told me that he actually, for all the bitching that he did about it, he actually enjoyed some of the stuff that we did. He was kind of into it. Matter of fact, he came down to band practice one time with his guitar plugged in and was kind of strumming along with whatever song we were playing. It was cool. He jammed with the band one time. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yep. So I got another tune, man. And this one it's called 5'2". Again, I don't know what year it is. The next two are going to be a little close to the heart. So we'll do 5'2". We'll be right back. And check this out.
We'd like to end with one of the cliche banjo songs. I'm going to do it a little bit different. Not a lot, just a little bit. My own way. 5'2".
Did that freeze up on you guys?
No, it was playing for me.
No, I guess I'll have to play it again. It froze up over here, so it might have just been my system. But all right, we'll try it again, guys. 5'2". Here we go.
We'd like to end with one of the cliche banjo songs. I'm going to do it a little bit different. Not a lot, just a little bit. My own way.
Yeah, he shreds on the banjo, by the way.
I can't afford it for mine, but could she love and could she woo? Ah, could she coo? Has anybody seen my gal? Eddie! Thank you! life that it is in her. But could she lump and could she move? Ah, could she now, could she coo? Has anybody seen? Has anybody seen? Has anybody seen my gal? Thank you.
So that when you said they play music from the 1920s, 1930s, you're not kidding, because that one was from 1925. But man,
they go back, man. They go back.
And your dad and that dude, they were fire. You heard your dad's solo, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course. Now Steve he's in the Banjo Hall of Fame. And I never knew there was one, and I mean until obviously my father told me, but his strumming hand is so fast. Like when you watch him play, when he really gets ripping on something, you're like, what? First of all, it's a banjo. You're like, what? And then when he gets going, dude. Oh, Ralph, you're a good man. I'll send you one if you want, bro, for sure.
Yeah, no, this is awesome, man.
Yeah, I had this my whole life.
Yeah, so
of course, all my music was shit. No matter what it was shit.
Yeah, mine was shit. Everyone's was shit. Their parents were, they had real music, and you know what? Our kids' music is shit and whatever, right? Like it's the circle of life.
I don't call it shit. I don't tell them it's shit, but I think it sometimes.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I think it sometimes. I do.
I kind of dig it, but I dug your son's track. I was like, oh, he did it, but I'm a freak anyway. I have albums. They're not albums. I have 78s, over and over 78s of what your father was playing there, like just Dixieland and all that. So
oh yeah.
I have that, and then I right next to something else, so that's cool. So let's still talk about your dad.
All right.
So what was your first memory of your dad? You were probably like 3, 4, 5. What was your first memory of your dad?
My first, dude, I couldn't even tell you. I know that my father smoked a pipe. And that was back in the 70s, obviously, when, everybody was smoking. So literally he would, feed me right next to the ashtray. But the smell of a pipe now always I associate that with my father.
That's probably what was the tobacco that he used? Did he like a cherry tobacco? Did he like something unique, or?
He smoked stuff called Old Granddad.
I know Old Granddad.
You do, right? You do, right?
Yes, yeah.
It comes in it was in like a white plastic jug.
It was awful.
The orange screw cap. And yeah, he smoked Old Granddad. He smoked some cherry stuff too. There was every once in a while, and I think Old Granddad had a little bit of a cherry hint to it, but there was other stuff that it was like wild cherry. It was in a little pouch that he used to buy at Phase. The drugstore Phase. I don't know if people remember that.
I don't know what it was, why I mentioned cherry, but I just remember like the old guys back in the day that, Old Granddad, I remember that tobacco, that pipe tobacco, but then special occasions, it'd be like a little bit of a cherry tobacco. I don't know, And your sister loved that smell. Probably, in your memory comes back with smell. So every time you smell that, you're going to be like, where is he?
My father actually had it's another thing I remember. He had a 66 Chevelle Super Sport convertible, 396, and it had red interior in it. This car was unbelievable, dude. It was amazing. I actually have some pictures of it still, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish he didn't get rid of it, but he had a pretty awesome car. Pretty bad.
You might be able to find one of those one of these days.
Yeah, if I ever hit the lottery, I might look for one. Sure.
Is that your dream car?
I don't think so. My dream car's always been a GTO, man. A GTO.
No.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, absolutely.
1968 GTO convertible, maroon with a white interior, soft top. That's my dream car.
There you go. Mine, I think, was all black. I mean, black. Black.
I wanted that
or,
maroon.
or orange. The orange. That.
Oh, like the Judge. Yeah,
The Judge. Yep.
Goat.
Yeah, that's always been my favorite car, man. I've always just loved the looks of the body lines on it.
When you were in high school.
Yep.
Right. Now, this is, for people who are younger, bear with us here for a second. We know enough about each other, Fuzz. I feel like we're kind of like the GTO thing. I didn't know. That's cool that we both have that as our dream cars. When was the first time you remembered your dad saying he loved you? First time.
When I was younger.
Oh, he did. He said it when you were younger.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did he say it a lot?
He said it a lot when I was younger, not so much when I was older.
When you were in high school?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I don't think he said it. I don't remember him saying it much at all. Not that he didn't, because I know he did, but
yeah. So where I was getting at, these guys, and from that time, they didn't have to say it. They everything was implied, right? You knew he loved you. They don't say it, right?
I love you too, Zachers.
But we say it all the time. Like, we're in the world where we say it and we share our emotions and stuff like that.
You know what, dude? Here's a funny thing about that, and I'm kind of glad you brought that up. Chuck, man, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Funny you bring that up, too, because I was thinking about that the other day. Love doesn't mean what it meant back then. Back then, when you told somebody you loved them, it was like deep. You guys were like tighter than twisty bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I think people use it just as like I love you, bro. It's kind of like almost like a pat on the back. You know what I mean? It's not really, I don't think it has the same bite that it did back in the day.
No, it's a big word. But it used to be, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Almost overdone.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate
overdone.
That.
Yeah. But I mean, you're getting a lot of love, and it's sincere. I mean, the chat is blowing up. Your thing, and it is sincere. People care. They sincerely care about you, and that's got to feel good. And
I love you too, EPD. Thank you, bro.
We should set up a GoFundMe for you because you and your sister are now orphans.
We are.
So yeah. The Fuzz Orphanage Fund.
That's right. Please, won't you think of the children?
Think of the children. I'm an orphan too.
You know what?
You're in good company, man.
As far as that love goes and stuff, like, I have to give a shout out to my son's mother, Tara. She's my ex-wife. Her and I are still really close friends. And she's been amazing throughout this whole thing. She's given me support. She's given me advice. She gave me fashion tips when it came to telling her I have to go buy a suit. She told me what I should buy, what I shouldn't buy. But seriously, man, I have to give her props because she's an amazing woman, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank her wholeheartedly. She's awesome.
No, that's good. It's important to have that relationship. Did you go simple black?
I didn't go anything yet. I have to go get it tomorrow.
What's her advice?
I'd rather not say.
All right, I'll say mine.
Powder blue. My sister nailed it. Powder blue.
Not powder blue. Oh my God, your sister's right. No powder blue. No ruffles or fat. It's just simple black suit, unless you plan on wearing it again and again. But we're at the age now where, unfortunately, we go to funerals, right? So it's good to have one around. Simple black, Jim, or simple navy.
I have to interrupt you. Hold on one second. You're my sister.
No green
I love
either?
you, but I will fucking ban you from this channel if you ever say that again. How dare you, woman? How dare you?
No, if you do a black suit, you could totally get away with a green button-up shirt.
All right, I'll tell you exactly what I'm wearing. I'm going to be purchasing a all black suit and an all black suit.
Good.
A black shirt.
All right. Green tie.
I will be wearing a lime green tie.
There you go.
And because of Saturday, my father on Saturday said to me, he goes, "When are you dyeing your beard green again? It looks like shit." And I said, "You know, my whole life you have been busting my balls, telling me that I look like a freak with the long hair, the shaved sides and the long top, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm 50 years old and you want me to look like a freak?" He goes, "It looks good on you. Just do it." I said, "That's Saturday." So
the shit we do for our parents, right?
I'm telling you. I may have to give it a dye job before the services and really freak my family out. How's that sound?
So you ever see me with my long hair?
I have, yes.
So, if you go to my profile page, you'll have pictures and my hair is down. When my father was dying, cancer, fuck cancer, by the way.
Agreed.
I didn't know what to get him for his last birthday. I knew it was going to be his last birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I cut my hair. That was my last birthday present to my dad. Was I cut my hair?
No kidding.
Yeah, the shit we do for our dads, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
We don't have to say "I love you." We show it. Like we do it. And right, executive producer Dan.
EPD says it too, and my sister says it too. My sister is a survivor of lung cancer, and God bless her. She's fucking amazing, and I love her to death.
I know Ralph is saying it right now.
Yep,
we've had a lot of Our Nippertown family has had a lot of loss lately.
It has. You are 100% correct.
And my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to Ralph. You don't know Mike Coley over at 315 Music, who's our sister website. Mike lost his dad last week. No, man, it's a lot of loss. It's rough. And but you have a lot of people that care about you, man.
Dude, I'm absolutely stunned by the outpouring of support. I'm just literally like, holy shit. I had to, at one point I had to turn the ringer off on my phone because it was nonstop going off, and that's not like some weird flex or anything. It was just literally like every 3 seconds it was going, and I'm just like, I need kind of like that. I need a couple of seconds to myself. I'm like, dude, holy shit.
Yeah. It's really too bad you don't have that drum kit set up behind you, man. Banging on those drums. I told you, a little rage goes a long way.
See, now maybe we should start a GoFundMe for that too. Fuck it.
A little rage goes a long way.
A little rage goes a long, long way. So I have another one, and I didn't even expect to be on this long, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry.
I know. Jesus, don't be sorry. You've pushed me through this, believe me, because I don't think I would have lasted without you.
You're doing awesome, man.
This is the third of 4 songs I'm going to play, and the fourth song I'm going to play on the way out because it's a little special. It's kind of a slower, mellower song that's probably going to make me cry. So I don't want you guys to see that. So that'll be the one we play on the way out. But this one is called "Old Bones," and you can Google that one and see when it was written and stuff. But now a lot of this stuff, dude, my father arranged. He made the arrangements for it. Steve Caddick has a couple of bands, and the names slip my mind. Sandy, if you're still watching, throw that out there, will you? The Red Suspenders was one. Avalon is another one, I believe. He's got a bunch of groups that he plays with, and my father would arrange music for Steve for his groups. Avalon, I believe he did like 300 arrangements for them. So he was a busy boy. He was definitely a busy boy. This one is called "Old Bones." I really, really love this song. I know this is one of Steve's favorites, so I kind of picked it because of that too. But I really dig this one. I hope you guys do too. Check out the old man rocking out the old bones.
I want to feature Eddie on one of Eddie's songs that's my wife and my favorite. This is called Old Bones.
Hell yeah.
That was fabulous. So that's not as old. That 1980, originally done by George Burns.
Not bad.
I remember this song because that's the type of music that would be played in my house. George Burns and Gracie and whatever. And your father's got a better voice than George Burns. So the end, it was a nice arrangement. So that was beautiful.
That performance was 2015 also.
Yeah, no, that was great. Beautiful. That wasn't written by George Burns, by the way, but he was the one who did it originally. Mm-hmm. That was wonderful. Great voice. He seemed happy, and the lines, you know what I mean? You had to remember, like, I don't know, just I have an old whiskey. Sometimes I fall asleep in my chair. You know, I dream that I'm a man. much younger than I am. Like it's kind of like it was good imagery.
And I'm gonna toot the horn for him a little more. The way that he did harmonies, like when he would hear a song, he would sing a harmony to it. He wouldn't sing along with it. He would sing a harmony to it. And when he did arrangements, the harmonies were like ridiculous. And just like, man, he had an ear. He would listen to a song and write it down. You know what I mean? He had an amazing ear. Well, he had an amazing ear a while back. Recently, not so much.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was I used to tell him to take his hearing aids out so I could talk shit about him.
God. So yeah, something about that generation, they say it's the greatest generation, and everyone has its faults and stuff, but the other thing is they loved, like, they married forever, they were loyal, they'd stay in the same job, companies were loyal to them, they were loyal to the companies. It was definitely a different time.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Marta, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I just I don't know, man. It's I'm down here in the bunker. This is my joint down here. I got the studio here. My little living areas over there and stuff, and so I'd go upstairs to hang out with him or to go pee or something. And the last couple nights, I just kind of like, when I went up there, I would always like look and make sure. Well, I'd make sure his chest was rising up and down first of all. But when he was awake, I would always go like this and put my hand up. And I say, "What's up, pal?" And he'd be like, "Hi, Sonny." So I miss that. I miss the sound of his air machine, his oxygen, whatever you call that thing.
Yeah.
It makes oxygen constantly. The name slips my mind now. I miss the sound of that. It is a little loud, but I miss that. Like it's weird not hearing it. I got a good story. I got a really good story for you, man. I think it was Friday. Now, mind you, my father had a bad back and he was on oxygen. So concentrator. Thank you, Sandy. Perfect. He was kind of tethered to that machine, but he had a really long cord on it and stuff like that. So I would always tell him, like, get up and walk around. You got to do some exercise, which he didn't do, which led to him really having not a lot of strength in his legs, not a lot of strength in his arms. Muscle tone was way off. So Friday, I was mowing the lawn. Was it Friday? It had to have been Friday. And I always told him, I'm like, just go out and sit on the deck, get some sunlight, get some fresh air, you'll feel better. And he never did it. Friday, I'm in the back mowing the lawn, and movement caught my eye on the left. Here he is, coming out on the deck, sits down in the chair. So I whip around and I pull up to there and shut the mower off. What are you doing? I just figured I'd come out and watch you do some laps, he said. So we were laughing about that. And we started bullshitting. We had a nice, probably half-hour-long talk. We discussed the deck. I had to rip down their old deck and build a new one because it was very spongy and rotting, and the old one was. So between the family, my son and my nephews, my sister, my father bought the materials and we built a deck for him. Built a new deck. It was a little bigger, so we never used it until, he just came out the other day and it was nice. And we had a nice talk, and he said to me, he goes, my carpenter did a pretty good goddamn job on this, And I said, dude, your carpenter wouldn't be nothing without you. Like, I learned all that shit from you, and I thanked him for it. And it was a nice conversation, but it was a nice moment. I mean, we talked about everything from throwing the ball and playing wiffle ball in the backyard to the swimming pool when he dove in. It was an above ground pool, he dove in and broke his nose. That was kind of nice. Just all sorts of shit that, I mean, we reminisced, we laughed, it was a nice conversation. And he's like, all right, I've had enough. I'm going in. You know what? I'll take it. That was great that he came out and we got that moment together. And, dude, I have two horrible memories with him. One was in the hospital bed the other day when he passed away. Horrible memory. Second horrible memory was when I was 15 years old. I was mouthing off to him. He started yelling at me. I yelled back. And he said something to me. And I turned, faced him, and balled my fists up. I'm going to kick my dad's ass. Watch this, right? So he took a little defensive stance. So I pulled my hand back probably about this far. And I was like, I can't hit my father. But my father could definitely hit me. We had a fight. It wasn't much of a fight. He fucking whooped my ass, dude. And
it sounds like you needed it.
To his dying day, he felt absolutely horrible about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was devastated by that. And we talked about it several times. And he's like, I'll never forgive myself for that. I'm like, dude, it was my fault. Like, I was being a dick. I'm the one that came at you. My fist. What are you gonna do? Just let me punch you? He goes, I never should have hit you. He goes, I have lived with that for years and it sucks. He hated it. Absolutely hated it. But that is a shitty memory. But you know what, Denise? I will definitely tell that story because it's amazing. Maura, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Sharon, thank you. So my sisters spend out all these stories and I can't really keep up with them. Do you want to hear the general a-hole or do you want to hear Yucky Stadium?
Oh, no. As soon as she wrote General Asshole Outbreaks Major Fuck Up, I was like, I've got to hear that.
Yeah, this is a good story.
Because I've actually heard the Yucky Stadium one. So I want the other one because I've heard it. I'm selfish guy. I'm sorry.
No, that works.
Stadium one is a good one too, but he could do that on another show. You'll have to just tune in.
My father built a shed in the backyard. It's like a box with a sloped roof, one single slope going backwards. He built that probably 20 years back with it wasn't particle board, but it was like that pressed sawdust or the pressed wood chips.
Yeah, chipboard.
Yeah, chipboard. There you go.
There's more glue than wood.
He built it. Yep, exactly. He built it with that and
heavy as fuck.
Yes.
Heavy wood.
He put stain on the shed almost every year. So it was like this ridiculously red shed. Well, over the years, the slope in the back, the water hits the ground, splashes up. You're going to have some rot. Then the mice got in there. They chewed a hole in the back. So there was a pretty good sized hole, like about this big in the back, where the mice could get in and out. Now, along the bottom, there's also this strip that was rotten out. The floors were also made of that wood. He put that wood down, so that was very spongy. I said, all right, dude, listen. I'm like, we have a free Saturday. We're here. I'm like, Denise's man is here. She had just started hanging with a dude. I think it was his first time over at the house. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm like, let's do something with this shed. It's shitty. We got to leave it alone. It's fine. That's not fine. It's got holes in it. I'm like, the floor is collapsing. You should put some, 5-core on it or something. Something that's supposed to be a floor. Like, let's do it right. No, it's fine. No, just leave it alone. It's fine. No. So I took a hammer. I went into the shed and threw the hammer through the back wall, putting a really big hole in it. What the fuck are you doing? Like, he just one side of me down the other. He's like, I'm like, well, now we got to fix it. So he's like, what is wrong with you? He's like,
how old were you at the time?
I was older. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was older. And definitely
he might have should have whipped your ass for that one too.
I don't even think I was living there. I think it was just kind of like I was there, just there hanging out. So he's up one side of me and down the other. He goes, you know what? He goes, you are absolutely a major fuck up. So I said, at least I'm not a general asshole. The guy she was with, Tommy, he was like mouth open, like, what are we gonna see, like a brawl here? What's going on? Like, he had no idea what the fuck was going on. My sister's just laughing. She's like, yeah, that happens all the time. Was I 33? Is that how old I was? Okay. She's just 33. She's smart. She knows. Yeah. So that's where, so I always told him that he outranked me because he was a general. And he called me major fuck up. So I called him a general asshole. And he, from that day on, outranked me. That's the general asshole story. Oh, interesting side note to that. The floor was done correctly. The back walls were replaced. More stain was put on it. It looks great to this day.
Yeah, I don't think they had the treated lumber and stuff back in the day. They didn't, But I remember that chipboard, man.
Dude, the deck that he built that I had to rip down was up 30, I want to say like 30 years, 32 years, something like that. And yes, it was the death stick, Ed. And there was no piers. He had no piers, dude. The way he did this deck, I was going
to say, how deep were the footers on that thing?
They just had 4x4s going in the ground.
4x4s, not right. No,
nothing.
No footers, nothing.
Nothing.
They were crazy back then.
But it stood the test of time. 30 some odd years.
Oh.
But if you had seen the bottom of this, like how it was all braced and everything was like going every which way, but it worked. We actually, when I had my graduation party from high school, I think it was, we had my graduation, or my sister's graduation, one of the two, I think it was mine. We had a band on the deck with a bunch of people.
So were you around when they made the original deck?
Yeah.
Keg of beer or multiple cases?
I think we had a keg. Did we have a keg?
Yeah. So every weekend in the summertime, right? It would be our house or somebody else's house. Somebody get a keg of beer, a bunch of burgers, hot dogs, or steaks or chicken, something, right? And it was a work party. Everybody would come over, they'd drink, and we'd build a deck, or we'd put a roof on a deck, or we'd put up a pool, or I was little. I shouldn't say this because this is lower than major fuck up. I was piss bucket boy. I was the one who was running around with the nails, running around with the shingles, I ran. I was the runner.
Well, you were private then. You were way low.
I was private. But yeah, those, sometimes we still have those days, but yeah. Yeah, neighbors tapped it at 10 a.m.
They did too. Listen, man, our neighborhood, it's weird, man. Our neighborhood was, I mean, dude, my sister and I, we had great parents. We had a great place to grow up. It was like our street, they actually had the town close the street because everybody that lived on the street was going to be there. They closed the street. We had a block party in the street. Like everybody brought tables out and you had like grills going and the whole nine. Like every time we would have like a holiday, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, it would always be at one person's house on the street and everybody would go there and they would bring a dish or they would buy burgers or whatever. And we just had this massive party at somebody's house
when you and your sister graduated from high school or any of the neighbors' kids graduated or somebody got married or there was a baby shower or heaven forbid a death on the street, everyone was cooking for weeks and they had more lasagnas in the freezer than you could count,
or all the lush husbands wanted to get together and tap a keg. They would have a party and everybody would go. Let's see, we had
kegs, hammers, and nails. They all go together.
At one point I think we had 5 families that had police officers in them on the street. 2 of them were troopers, 3 of them were troopers. 2 of them I think were county cops. Like it's crazy, and one was an Albany cop. Yeah. my father passed out in the doghouse after one of them? Absolutely, he did. Yes, ma'am. You got that right.
How long ago did you lose your mom, Fuzz?
It was July 3rd, 2011.
Oh,
So it was 10 years.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, 1 month tomorrow.
10 years, 1 month, and 1 week away from my father passing away.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
it's a tough time, dude. And like I said, man, I'm stunned by the situation, but I'm more stunned by the amount of the outpouring of support and love, and I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody's phone calls. I was kind of, some I answered, some I didn't, some I just couldn't. I wasn't like ignoring you. It was just one of those times where it was like, I can't really talk right now. You know what I mean? But
you don't ever have to apologize.
if that's the case, guys, call me back. I'll talk to you now. It's a rough time, but you guys, I mean, all you guys, all of my degenerates, my friends, my family, everybody's just absolutely fucking amazing. You
Call hours are Monday.
So it's going to be at Newcomer Funeral Home, 343 New Corner Road in Colony. The viewing is 4 to 7 on Monday. The service is 10 a.m. on Tuesday. And the interment will be at Memory Gardens in Colony right after the service.
So service is 10 a.m. And what nationality are you guys?
Armenian. Yep.
So Irish, we have a bottle of whiskey at the funeral, and then we tap the keg afterward. How do Armenians do this?
I'm only half Armenian, so I don't know. I think maybe they sacrifice a goat afterwards. I'm not sure.
We can find one. We'll find
sure
one. We won't live cast that.
I'm kind of excited because my father was a member of the Knights of Vartan, and that is like I call it the Armenian Mafia, but I mean they're a stand-up bunch of guys. They're great people. But it's almost like the Masons or the Gideons or like it's a group like that, but it's not like they have like secretive shit, whatever. But it's like they do a ceremony at funerals, and my father was pretty heavily into it. I'm excited to see that. I can't wait to see that. It's going to be interesting to see that. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, we always had I have a cousin who was a trooper, but he played the bagpipe, and he would plays the bagpipe for all the family funerals. It's these traditions. It's cool to see. It's cool to be honored. Your sister said he was a past commander of that. So
yes.
Yeah. So
it's called a spot bed is how it's pronounced. But I used to tell my father that he was a spider bed just to bust his balls. He's like, oh, what are you doing? Spider bed stuff? Oh,
it sounds like you had a little bit of general asshole in you too.
It was him and I like to rib each other. He'd get his digs into. I'm just speaking from the stuff that I can remember that I said to him. He'd get his digs into. He was pretty good, man. Also,
it sounds like you guys had a good relationship.
We did. I love that man to death.
Absolutely
love that man to death, man. He was my fucking hero growing up. You guys all love Spider-Man. I love my father, man.
Yeah, and he loved this show. You said
he did. He was an avid supporter of this show. He actually told me, and I haven't heard it much. I'm not saying that because he's a bad guy or that he was a horrible father. He definitely wasn't. I'm just saying. Recently was one of the few times that he told me that he was proud of me. And that meant a lot to me. He's like, you finally found something that you're really good at. He wanted to throw money at me for the show. He wanted to sponsor the show. I'm like, what am I going to do? Put your big ugly head behind me? I don't think so. I'm not staring at that all day. No way.
You could have had him do the theme music.
I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that.
Well, dude,
opportunity missed, my friend. Opportunity missed.
No, but, you have recordings of them. You know what I mean? These are awesome.
I could have dragged his ass down here and put him in a chair next to me with a banjo. Hit it. You know, I could have a live band right here. I guess at the cemetery, I guess there's a couple guys from I don't think it's the Tri-County Banjo Band, but he was a part of that. There was another bunch of banjo guys, I think, and a couple of them are going to do a number at the cemetery. So that's probably going to be a gut wrencher, right? That's going to be probably brutal for me, anyways. But I mean, it'll be nice, and I'm excited to doing it. I'm honored that they're doing it, but that's probably going to be rough on me too.
Well, if you know any banjo players that they play banjo, but like they're into heavy metal or something.
Mm-hmm.
I had a serious band inquiry. Somebody's looking for a banjo player that's kind of into shredding. So and it's legit. The person who asked me is legit. So I know that's a little off topic from the show, but we're talking banjo. So people come to me looking for a lot. I also have somebody looking for a mariachi band. So if you know, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind a mariachi band either, to be honest with you.
We should do something Tuesday, a second line or something. We got to figure out something. We'll throw up at New Orleans, like second line, like that music and whatnot. But
that'll work.
I don't know, dude. You know, when it comes, that emotion comes and you lose it, let it go, lose it. It's you know, it's therapeutic.
I know it's coming.
You and your sister be there for each other. Sounds like she's a good woman. She's here for you. I know you're there for her. You know.
Well, she was always Daddy's favorite, so if I don't take care of her, he's going to strike me dead. So.
Well, yeah, you got to take care of Daddy's favorite, right?
You got that right. You got that right.
Well, if you weren't a major fuck up, maybe you would have been. I don't know.
Listen, man, dude, you want to hear some fucked up shit? Listen to this. So I would be in the backyard minding my own business. She would come at me flailing arms. Wow, I would just punch the hell out of me. And I would just kind of ball up and block them and stuff. Oh, I love you too, Sparkle Britches. Hell yeah. So I'd cover up, and then she'd be like, yeah, I'd beat his ass. She'd walk away, and I'd just come running up, and I'd give her a haymaker right in the back. Like, okay, you're going to hit me all those times. I'm going to hit you once. Yeah. And I took the wind out of her, and she'd go running in the house. Daddy, Michael hit me.
Of course you got in trouble. You're not allowed to hit a woman.
That's my sister. She don't count as a woman.
You hit a girl.
Go to your room. I got grounded because she started shit.
I have two older sisters. I have three older sisters, but two that aren't that much older than me. Yeah, they'd go nuts on me. Once I got big enough where I was a lot bigger than them, I could hold my hand right on their forehead, right, and keep them at arm's distance. And but yeah,
see, that's what I get. That's what I get right there. That's what I get. That's what I get.
Dude. Well, we all love you. We all care. You've got another song for Dad you're playing us out with?
Yeah, I got one to play us out with. It is called Come Back to Sorrento. It's got some nice pictures in it of it looks like Italy and stuff like that. So, but the song is really touching. It made me tear up a little bit earlier. And we'll end the show with that. It's a nice mellow thing to end on. Sir, I appreciate you taking away from your mayor duties to come in and hang out with the degenerates for a while. That means a lot to me. You completely made me get through this show, for sure. I would never have done that. So
all you, brother, all you.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. And it's
Look at that chat. Look at those comments. Look at you have a ton of support. You have a huge family.
I love you too, Paul.
Your dad is, the patriarch. He's the big, right? It's hard to lose that, but you have a lot of people to lean on, and I'm sure speak for everybody. Just lean on us.
I will definitely do that, man. And I can't even explain how much the outpouring of support and love means to me, will mean to me. Yeah, you guys are all amazing, all of you.
And you are for now, forever in my mind, known as Major Fuzz.
Major Fuzz up.
Major Fuzz.
Major Fuzz up, the orphan of the orphan
general.
of the Kabajan family. Yeah, that's right. Dude, again, thank you. Everybody that tuned in, thank you. Hey, over to YouTube, youtube.com/thatbuzzing518 show. Pop says, hold on. I'll tell him. Pop says go subscribe. youtube.com/thatbuzzing518 show. What? All right. He said hit the notification bell. Instagram and TikTok. Yes, Dad, I know. That Fuzzing 518 show at that Fuzzing. Yes, at. Oh,
You're crazy.
I'll be with him in a minute. Either way, guys, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate all you guys. Mr. Mayor, my hat will be off to you, but my hair is probably a rotten mess right now. So
look at this. I've got too much.
You always look good, my friend. You know that. All right, chat. I'm going to try to get back with you guys next Thursday evening, same time, same channel. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. I wasn't expecting to go this long. I probably couldn't have made it without Jim. Like I said again, thanks for the support. Thank you guys for showing up. Next week, same time, same channel. Going to leave you guys with "Come Back to Sorrento." One more with the old man here, and we're out. We'll see you guys next week. Mayor, thank you, sir. Good night, guys.
Always.